everyone. My name is Jenna Martinez. Welcome to Buzz TV. This morning I'll be digging a little deep into Jacksonville's music scene and speaking to the president of the First Coast Blues Society, Jay Smith. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Jenna. Thanks for having me.
So let me ask you, tell me a little bit about the First Coast Blues Society and how it came to be.
Well, First Coast Blues Society has been in existence now, coming up on 2 years. Our first year, we had a IBC challenge that qualified 3 acts to go to Memphis, a band act, a duo act, and a youth act. It's been created to promote and further the education of blues music in this area. We have a wealth of talent in this area. Blues music has a long history in Jacksonville, and we wanted to keep that alive.
Excellent. Well, you're doing a good job of keeping the blues alive. What are some of your favorite artists of the genre now and probably from way back when, from before?
Well, my first experience with the blues was J.J. Cale, a 45 that I had. I'm showing my age. I was probably 11 years old. Crazy Mama, that really just grabbed me, and from there I just really had a taste for the blues. Of course, I've been around the blues scene now for quite a while. I worked in South Florida at the Musicians Exchange and got to meet some of my blues heroes and legends, Buddy Guy, Albert Collins. I mean, I could just go on and on about who I've met, but I just, here locally, we have some up-and-coming blues artists. Kim Rodriguez is fabulous. She has her band coming into our challenge this year, the Black Cat Bones. Her and Sean Pfaffman made it all the way to the semifinals as a duo last year. They, along with Toots Lorraine and the Traffic, really put us on the map last year. Toots Lorraine and the Traffic, as the band category, also went to the semifinals, and that was our first year being represented in the First Coast Blues Society in Memphis. We're very, very pleased with their showing, which is why we have such a good response this year. We have a huge amount of talent that has joined us this year in the challenge.
That's awesome. And I was lucky enough to be in the room when Toots Lorraine and the Traffic played at Rum Boogie, and it was standing room only. It was a really, really cool experience, probably one of their best performances I've ever seen. Sean and Kim as well performed extremely well, as well as Ali and the Cats was a youth band, and they are the first ever youth act to represent Jacksonville in a long, long time. First representatives of the First Coast Blues Society. So definitely some mile markers were definitely made. History was made last year.
Yeah, and I'm glad to say Ali and the Cats are back again, but this year they go up against another youth band, Whitewater, to qualify to go this year. So we're very excited about having 2 youth acts at our challenge.
Very nice. So it sounds like the competition is getting a little thick. Why do you think there is more participation this year as opposed to last year?
Well, I think we've done a pretty good job of getting the word out. We are a nonprofit society. We're not for profit. We're affiliated with the Blues Foundation in Memphis. So we are tied in with the International Blues Challenge that way. We have the ability to send people there. It's great exposure. And the word got out about our showing last year with Kim and Sean, as well as Toots Lorraine. And we are out and about in the blues scene here. I like to go out and actually meet and coordinate with other artists, and I always ask them, who's the best blues artist in town? And I'll go out and listen to them, and I've had a great time recruiting this year. I have.
That's a funny way to put it, recruiting. What can people expect from the IBC Challenge that takes place later this week, actually on September 10th, and as well as the 24th over at Mudville?
At the upcoming one on Sunday at 1904 Music Hall, we've got currently 8 bands participating. It is going to be from noon to 6. It is a rapid fire.
It's not a battle of the bands, though.
It's not. It's not a, and this is something I try to get across, because a lot of bands don't like to compete against each other, and I don't use the word compete. I use the word challenge because that's what Memphis uses. Because what you're doing is you're challenging yourself to rise to a certain level to represent the First Coast in Memphis. And you're doing that for a panel of judges. You're not doing it against the other bands. So that's how I got a lot of people involved, because a lot of people, I don't like a battle of the bands, you know, because we have a great family of musicians here in town, and they don't really compete against each other. They love to support each other, and that's what we're doing with this.
I couldn't agree more, the support between all of the bands and the musicians together. That is actually something that's really, really cool. And that's something that people don't realize, is that the IBC is a very prestigious challenge where bands from all over the world come to Memphis, and Jacksonville, the Bold City, is a part of it. Where can people find you and the First Coast Blues Society online?
We have a website, firstcoastbluessociety.org. I encourage everyone to go on there and check us out. We have our events on there. We have a great amount of sponsors this year that have joined us in supporting the challenge, because it's quite an undertaking for these bands to go to Memphis, because in January of 2018, January 16th through 20th, whoever represents us will be spending all that time in Memphis. So the costs are quite high. It's about $1,000 per person, and we try to raise that for our acts to go. So we have a donate button there. Please join us. We have memberships available. We have business memberships available. We also still have sponsorships available if anyone's interested.
That's wonderful. So there are many ways that you can contribute to the cause, sending your favorite band to IBC, as well as helping them get there, as well as contributing to the First Coast Blues Society, which is a nonprofit organization here in Jacksonville, Florida. Jay, I want to thank you for being with me today. And you guys, thank you for tuning in. You'll see more from me and more about music here locally in Jacksonville on The Buzz. Please visit iwantabuzz.com for more.